A completely different category is the plugin-based inventory. Let's go check it out. So inventory can be written in any format, which is the old format. It's still a very common format. The new alternative is the YAML format. And inventory, since Ansible 2.4, is managed through plugins. The Ansible CFG lists which plugins are used in the inventory section, if you are using inventory-based plugins at least. Notice that you may have never seen it because inventory-based plugins are still not very common because the ini format is so simple and so convenient for many environments. But using plugins allows Ansible to support new inventory format by just providing a new plugin. So it makes it a lot more flexible. We have the ini plugin, which is a default, which supports old-style inventory format. We have the script plugin, which supports old-style dynamic inventory. Dynamic inventory, where in the old days you would fetch dynamic inventory scripts from the community websites. There's a YAML plugin, which supports new-style YAML format. These are the options. And you need to enable the plugins that you want to support in your Ansible.cfg. And notice that using plugins is preferred over dynamic inventory scripts. Before continuing, let's check out the Ansible CFG for the current plugins that are used. So here we are. I'm going to show you sudo vim on etc ansible ansible.cfg, and we are going to look for inventory. This is not the one. Oops, I want the next one and the next one. This is what we are looking for, inventory plugins. Inventory plugins is user share Ansible plugins inventory. Oh, that's just the plugins path. What else do we have? There we go. We can see the inventory section right here. This is what it should be looking like. And you can see that the enable inventory plugins, the default is set to host list script, although YAML, ini, and toml. And you can see these settings right here. Do remember, if you want to use plugins, you need this enable plugins in your local Ansible.cfg. I'm just showing it here to show you what is hard-coded as the default. And as it is coded as the default, you don't really have to specify it. But if you want to do something specific, apart from the common inventory plugins, you will need to open an inventory section in your Ansible.cfg to provide that. Good. Let's check out some of these formats. So here we have an example where the ini plugin is used. This is what we've seen throughout in this course. So you have the group name. Below the group name, which is between square brackets, you have the list of the hosts. And you can specify nested groups as well, which is what we see in all servers children, where web servers and DB servers are a member of all servers. Right, if you would be using the YAML plugin, then this is what it looks like. So the parent level group is all servers. Children is defining the children, and we have web servers and DB servers and so on. You can also put your variables. You can put everything in this YAML-based plugin. Hey, before you are going to work with these inventories, I do need to show you the documentation behind the plugins. So if you use Ansible docs -t inventory -l, we get a list. Ansible doc, of course, we get a list of all the different inventory types. And did you know that every inventory type has its own documentation? So we use ini, and here we can see the example for ini-based inventory, including variables and everything that you might want to do. We use YAML, and there you can see what it looks like all the way to the bottom for the YAML-based inventory. You are going to appreciate this example because it's telling you how exactly to compose it, including the variables that you might be including at a specific level. And what else do we have? Well, let's get back to the list and let's have a look at one of the sources that is not so common. Kubernetes, for instance. So -t inventory Kubernetes. And there we go. We see the example that can be used for Kubernetes-based inventory. Oh, this is all about Kubernetes authentication, which means that you are going to hand it over to Kubernetes. That is what corresponds to the old scripting style inventory. And you can use some references to other scripting style inventories as well, like Azure Resource Manager, like Foreman, like Docker Machine, like just a host list, like OpenShift or OpenStack or whatever. Now we should focus at this point on ini and YAML based inventories. We will see these specific inventories later. So let's get back to the slides and talk about inventory script conversion. So ini based inventory is the standard, but you might want to move over to YAML based inventory, which seems to be the future anyway. You can easily convert using the Ansible inventory command. So for instance, use Ansible inventory -YAML -I inventory -list output inventory.yaml. So let me just demonstrate how to do that based on the inventory that we are going to use later in the Windows, in the lesson about Windows. But important, when ini-based inventory contains variables, they maybe mess up after conversion, and you should always check because you might have to manually fix it. Of course, you can easily avoid that by using the approach of putting your variables in group vars and host vars. Hey, I'm mentioning the recommended approach here. I think it's time to think about the recommendation where to put your inventory variables, because how are you going to use group vars and host vars if you are using Ansible Tower? Then you might need to get back to inventory-based variables anyway. So that is really something to think about, but more about Tower in the next lesson. For now, let's check out this conversion. So in order to show you the conversion, let's go to the Windows directory. That's a project directory that we will discuss in more detail later. For now, I only want to have a look at the inventory, where you can see that there are 3 groups and there are variables for the group win, and that is what makes this an interesting one. So if I want to do the conversion, then Ansible inventory -YAML to specify the format -I inventory -list -output winventory.yaml. So that is creating winventory.yaml, and there we go. We can see that the conversion actually has worked pretty well. So it works with the implicit host group all. We don't see that anywhere in the original inventory, but it's an implicit host group, so it's there, which is children, children file and lamp, and ungrouped. Ungrouped are the hosts that are a member of no group at all. That doesn't apply in this case. And then we have win. And in win, we have the hosts and the host Windows example.com. And here we have all the variables that apply to that specific host. That is looking pretty good. Let's get back to the slide one more time, because we need to talk about inventory sources a little bit more to make sure you fully understand what's going on. So inventory, as just discussed, is plugin based. You can use Ansible doc -t inventory -l for a complete list. We've already seen that. The inventory enable plugins option in ansible.cfg is how you determine what plugins need to be enabled. So here we can see an example where host list and script and auto and YAML and ini and toml, all of them are enabled. And if you are using legacy inventory scripts, they are still supported because of the script plugin. That's a nice backward compatibility that is implemented, and that goes without any additional work. And if you want to use additional inventory plugins, you need to add them in product-based or generic ansible.cfg. Well, let's make sure you understand this. This product-based or generic Ansible CFG, they are not merged. So either in product-based where no generic Ansible CFG is considered, or in generic Ansible CFG if you don't have a project-based inventory. Use a fully qualified collection name if the plugin is a part of a collection. And that's all you need to know about inventories.